flow. So the first one we'll create is a sunflower that Sandy had in his PowerPoint. So I'm going to start this with a bit of curve sketching. So I'm going to create a circle and grow that circle up, and then I'll enter the radius of about 250. And I'm going to centre that in the page to make sure we're starting from the centre. Okay, what I'll do next is I'm going to open up my clip art library. Now this has been extended in ArtCAM 2012. So everything that appears in this library is a 3D shape. And I've got pages and pages of shapes that I can apply, drag out of the library and apply to my design. Okay, so I'm going to start with one of the libraries, which is this greenery library. And this has got lots of leaves, flowers and natural shapes. I'm going to choose a leaf out of the library, so this leaf here. And it appears initially in this kind of blue colour. If I rotate the screen around, you can see this is a 3D shape in its own right. Okay, let's look straight down instead. Now what I can do is pick up the drag handles on this and do things like rotate it round. So I can pick that up, rotate it, I can grab the point here and scale this down, move it into position, scale it down a bit more until I get it approximately the size I want. Okay, now I'm going to use that small leaf, and I'm going to texture inside the circle to make the centre part of the flower. Okay, so I'm going to open up our texture flow tool. Now the screen resolution is a bit small here, so I'm going to close down the relief library. So in texture flow, I first of all identify the object that is the texture. So in this case, the small leaf that I've resized. I'm then going to set the flow vector, so that's the circle, like so. And I'm then going to hit the calculate button. Now, all of these additional buttons in the texture flow form allow me to slightly vary the shape. Okay, so what we get here is in the centre we get small leaves, on the outer we get bigger leaves. So we're slowly varying the shape with different angle and size variations. Now I actually want the edges of that to be kept rather than trimming them to the edge of the circle. So if I undo that and then recalculate. Okay, so we can vary the spacing along the flow of the vector. We can also vary the spacing across the vector. So in this case here, I've got this set up, as I say. So we get larger shapes on the outside going to smaller shapes on the inside. But the thing to note here is that because of all these tiny variations in each copy, you create a much more natural looking effect. Okay, so it's not a regular pattern. It's more natural, organic looking. Okay, so let me close down the texture relief tool, and if I look at this from the side, you can see at the moment, although we've got a very nice detailed pattern, it's quite flat. I want to give that a bit of shape, so I'm going to say I want a dome underneath that, and I'll just put a low height in there of 10 millimeters, just to pull the centre of that up, to give it a slightly doming effect. Okay, I no longer need a circle, so I can get rid of that. So I'm going to come back to my original leaf now, and I'm going to drop into transform mode. And I'm going to start to stretch this around a little bit more. So I'm going to grow the leaf up until it's approximately 200 high. I'm also going to grab the side and then stretch it this way to change the aspect ratio. And I'll make this about 40 millimeters, like so. I'm then going to pick the whole thing up and move it to the top of the flower. So this is what was a leaf, and what we've used in the centre for effectively the seeds of the sunflower is now going to become a petal. Okay, I'm going to drag the rotation centre into the middle of the flower, and then I can hold down Control like any normal Windows package and make a copy. So I can keep picking this up and dragging it around using Control and drag to form a rotation. So there I've got 4 petals. If I now pick all of those up and again drag it around, we can make multiple copies of all 4. I'll keep doing this until I get them all the way around the outside, maybe like so. So again, I've got a few more, so I can pick them all up once again, and again perform a rotation with a copy, like so. And I probably need one more of these. Let's just pick up one more, and again transform that around with a copy, like so. Okay, so these are all individual entities, I can pick any of them up and I can move them around as I want to adjust the shape. The other thing I could do now, again, is pick all of them up in their entirety, and again, hold down the Control key to make a copy, and get a second set, and I can also scale these. So if I hold down the Alt key and drag these slightly, I can scale them as well. Okay, now you'll notice here that the petals are now overhanging the edge of my 2D template. So if I was to add these to the relief layer, we'd actually lose anything which is hanging off the top or hanging off the main square of the page. So what I can do is use another new tool here, which is called the cookie cutter. And basically, any relief which is already in the model, if I hit this cookie cutter button, it will free that up as well. So now, the whole centre that we created earlier is now part of the free relief modelling, and again, we can pick the whole thing up and perform operations on that. I think I just did a copy of that, let me just undo. So I actually want to transform this, and again, I'll grab the centre and rotate or move or scale the whole thing in one go. Okay, so this free relief modelling is the ability to keep changing small bits or grab whole areas of a relief and pull it and stretch it around and make changes to it. Okay, so I'm happy with my flower head, so I'm now going to paste that into the ArtCAM relief. Okay, you can see there is my detail sunflower. So what we're going to do next is add the stem and the leaves onto this, and I'm going to do that again by coming back to the clip art library, and I can look through the library and pick something which looks like it may be useful. So let's grab this flower. It's a bit small at the moment, so let's drag this up, increase the size of it, and again I'll spin this around until the stem is nearly vertical and position it roughly in the right place, like so. Okay, and I'm going to now paste this into a new layer. So ArtCAM works in a similar way to any other CAD/CAM package in that you have layers. So if I open up this layer section, you can see here I've now got 2 layers. Now another new tool which has been added into ArtCAM is the ability to turn on the viewing of the active relief layer. Okay, so what that does is it shades the active layer in a different colour. So you see there, as I switch between the different layers, it makes it very easy for the users to work out which part of the model they're working on. So obviously, those of you with a keen eye for detail will have noticed that I've now got an additional flower head that I don't necessarily need. So I'm going to chop that out. So I'm going to start just by sketching a polygon around the area that I don't want. I know exactly which layer I'm working on because I've got my relief layer active and I can see. So I'm going to say anything inside that polygon I want to get rid of. I'm going to 0 it, like so. And then we don't need that polygon any longer, so I can get rid of it. And then if I come to the sculpting tools, I'm going to use the erase tool just to blend down this stem slightly. So I can hold down the Control key and I can rub over the stem just to blend that down. If I do that too much, I can just get it back again by letting go of the Control key. Okay, let's have a look what our sunflower looks like. So that's what we've now got when we merge the 2 layers together. So that looks fine. I'm going to leave that as it is. So I'm now going to finish this off with a flower pot at the bottom. So I'm going to make this with, first of all, with wireframe. So let me sketch a rectangle, and then I'm going to edit that shape. I'm going to remove that edge, pull that node point out, pull this one in, and I'll use that to make a revolved shape. So I'm going to say I want to make a turn, set the scale factor, and merge that in with the existing shape. Okay, so that's my flower. I'm quite happy with that design. So what I'm going to do now is come back to my layers. So at the moment my flower is split between 2 layers. I'm going to merge them all into one single layer. Then I can open up the clip art library. I can grab the layer that we've just merged together and I can drop it in the clip art library. If we scroll down here now, you'll notice we've added to the library. Okay, so the sunflower that we've just created, I've just dragged it and added it into the library very simply. And that means I can pull it back. So I can now grab the whole thing from the library, have a second sunflower, reposition it, add another one, reposition it. When I'm happy, paste them all into the existing relief. So you can see free relief modelling is the ability not only to create shapes, but also to drag and drop new shapes into the library and build up a library of shapes as you're going.